Hi guys, welcome back to Marvel Contest of Champions. This video is just going to go over some of the 4 core champions with major changes to their special attacks. So we're going to talk about Hulk, we're going to talk about Yellowjacket, Winter Soldier and Punisher. And just have a look at a few changes that have happened in their specials and a few things to cover. So let's, without further ado, get into the Hulk. So far, after testing out the specials, it was noted on his special attacks that there's an 85% chance to hit in. Obviously, that we were just seeing there was the first special that we had prior to update. This is the SP1, as you can see, hits in a stun very clearly on the enemy character. And if you build up a lot of power, then you can find that you'll be able to put into a second stun, which are just demonstrated there in the screen. Now, it's something that I really want to perfect. I'm sure that if I build up the character and kind of set up how I'm attacking, that is going to be really good at applying multiple stuns and could be more effective in different game modes. Definitely a lot more powerful, especially when you get those fury stacks and then apply onto the stuns. It means that the champion is going to be really helpful to apply stun and get in the damage that you require without receiving too many hits. The next character to take a look at is Yellowjacket. The most significant change for this character, and what I'll be using in particular, is the L2. And obviously in the first scene that you see there from the first update, applying 1 power sting, which is a bit disappointing considering the other applies more for the L1. Obviously, now that we've come into the update, we now get 3 stacks of power sting for that L2, which does mean that the character is as good for putting in the L1 as good as putting in for the L2. So a positive change, not significant, but a positive change nevertheless. Now the final 2 and the biggest 2 that have had the most significant changes are Punisher and Winter Soldier. They're kind of like the carbon copy pair, and they all kind of generate their own things. So prior to the update, they had the same things with the L1. Also the same thing with the L2, which was the up kicking. The L1 was the one with the projectile firing the gunshots, and then the L3 is kind of unchanged. And the same thing goes to the update. Post update, nothing has changed with both characters. L3s are both the same, which is a little bit disappointing. We'll start by looking at Winter Soldier's new L2 and then move on to Punisher. So this new special is called 1945. 85% chance to inflict bleed, dealing different kinds of damages. This 5-star that I'm using at the moment is 787.75 direct damage over 4 seconds. So obviously it's going to differ depending on what star champion you're using. And yeah, it's quite effective, not as super effective as I thought, but I'm guessing as this character gets ranked up or signature ability increased, he will deal more bleed damage. Obviously handy with deep wounds. But the master bleeder is Punisher, and we'll just go on to his special changes now for L1 and L2. So here is Punisher applying in his Street Justice, and 70% chance to inflict bleed, dealing 5267 direct damage over 6 seconds. Obviously I'm using a 3-star. Again, this will differ depending on the starage of champion that you're using. So I can only imagine that this character is going to be pretty decent. But it's when it gets to the L2 that it's the biggest change. So Punishment, 85% chance to inflict bleed, dealing 709.9 direct damage over 5.5 seconds. That's a longer duration. But obviously, like I said, this will differ based on what type of starage of champion you have, between 2, 3 and 4, and obviously in the future maybe a 5. But when the bleed from the attack expires, it has a 65% chance to convert into an open wound. An open wound counts as a stack of bleed, but is passive and deals no damage. Now I have tried to kind of put on a big stack of bleed, and it is very effective. But and I would say that this character is a master bleed. Obviously, not so much in the way of the king and the kind of the 100% champ of bleeding, which is the new improved Black Panther, the classic version, the OG one. To finalize, and without a doubt, the Hulk's change in SP1 and SP2 has made me really buy into this character, especially SP1. The concept that, as you can see in the screen now, the Fury is up, and what it will do is also increase the amount of time the stun goes in. If you kind of work this around your masteries quite well, maybe kind of go down the route of increasing that that stun in the utilities section, then I really think you're going to have a character that is going to avoid attacks from enemies, be able to, I'd say, repetitively hitting that stun off the L1, and then boom, you're hitting in loads of direct kind of fury, increased attack damage, which is going to be so much more helpful going into things like master mode. You know, as well, doing certain aspects of arena and maybe some end game stuff. I'm still at the moment trying to get to my grips with a lot of the stuff that's been changed in 12.0. It's so significant, the changes, that you know, it's going to take an adjustment period for us to really kind of buy into these character changes in general. But anyway, thanks very much for watching this video. It's just been a video on the changes of SPs for certain champions. If you did enjoy it, please hit that like button. Please also consider giving this channel a subscribe for Marvel Contest of Champions content. Maybe share it. Remember to turn those notifications on. Follow me on social media. The link is in the description below. And as always, I shall catch you on the flip side. Bye-bye for now.